Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Ed from me, and today we're going to be doing the DSG service on the MK7 Golf R. I want to take some time out to thank our sponsor for this episode. This episode is sponsored by ECS Tuning. They're the ones who hooked us up with all the stuff that I'll need in order to do this service. I'm currently almost at 40,000 miles, and 40,000 miles is when you're supposed to be changing a DSG transmission fluid. So let's get started. First thing that you're going to want to do is make sure that the car is completely level. So because my driveway is a little bit slanted, what I've done is I've raised up the back end a little bit, put it on jack stands, and then I've raised the front end a little bit with jacks. You want to make sure that it's completely level so that the transmission oil can actually drain out properly and ensure that you have the proper level when you're done with your service. So ECS Tuning actually has a service kit that has everything that you need in order to do this service. It includes the tool that you need in order to fill it from the bottom, and it also includes a wrench that allows you to get to the oil filter housing without actually removing the battery. That actually saves you a lot of time. So I'll leave a link in the description where you can actually get this kit for yourself, but they basically made it as simple as possible because they've organized it all into one place for you to find very easily. The only thing that you're going to need besides the kit that you buy from them is essentially some way to monitor the oil temperature, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But what I have is the OBD11, and that allows me to see the actual temperature of the transmission oil because it has to be within 35 and 45 degrees Celsius in order to get the proper height. I'll show you more in a little bit what I mean by that, but the first thing that you're going to want to do is actually take off the air intake, so let's do that. Alright, so first thing that we're going to do is remove this air box. There is a hose clamp as well as some tubing that needs to be removed, and then the entire air box should be able to come out. What I'm using here is a flathead screwdriver in order to remove the hose clamp, and once that's removed you should be able to just pop it off. And then the actual air box itself is held with a couple of grommets, so you just pull hard up on it and you should be able to feel it pop off. So after you remove the air box, you should be able to see the top of the oil filter housing. It's right over here, and I can touch it with my fingers right now. But basically, in order to remove this, generally you'd have to remove the entire battery and unplug it, and this makes life a lot more difficult. But ECS Tuning actually has a DSG oil filter wrench that they've provided, which is this guy right here. And makes life a little bit easier because it allows you to reach in there and actually undo the oil filter housing without actually needing to remove the battery. So it saves you a lot of time. So I know the angle's not the best, but basically what you see right now, right smack in the middle of the screen, is the end of the oil filter wrench. And that basically gives you access to the top of the oil filter housing. So after you loosen it with the wrench, you should be able to get your hand in there and undo it the rest of the way. There will be some oil that kind of leaks out around the housing, so just make sure that you put a couple of rags there to help with picking up any of the oil that spills over. If you have really big hands, it may be difficult to get in there, but you should be able to loosen it up and get it out. So this is the oil filter housing. The oil filter itself is still sitting on the transmission side. For this cap, we're going to remove the O-ring and replace it with a new one to ensure the proper sealing. ECS Tuning does have like a billet aluminum version of this cap as well as other brands, but I decided against switching it away from OEM only because I don't see any reason why you should. It's not in an area in the engine compartment that you would be able to see, and the OEM one does the job just fine, so I didn't see any reason why there was any reason to switch it over to a new one when this plastic one works just fine. So this is the new oil filter, and then this is the O-ring that goes around the oil filter housing. So I'm just going to swap this out and then put the new oil filter in after I remove the old one. So in order to remove the old oil filter, you just have to reach in there. You should probably use a rag so that you don't get your hands really oily. Doing it this way, like I said, allows you to not have to remove the battery. So this is the old one, and at least for the filter, I like to use OEM filters. So this is a genuine OEM VW oil filter. I'm getting a little dirty, but basically it's an OEM one that we're going to be replacing it with. And so I'm going to throw this in there and just make sure that it sits in place by hearing a click as well as feeling a positive click as it fits into place. Alright, so this right here is the old O-ring, just getting it off with a screwdriver. You could probably reuse the old O-ring, but they're cheap and it's better to be safe than sorry. Might as well throw in a new O-ring on every time you do this service. It's only once every 40,000 miles anyway. It's not that often. So now that that's done, I'm just going to thread it in by hand and put it back on. We'll be done with everything by hand after I put back on the stock air box. It is a little inconvenient sometimes to reach in there with your hands, but it's definitely better than taking out the battery and putting it back in. If I can avoid any of the electrical issues, I definitely will. So I'm just tightening it down by hand right now. I'm going to torque it to spec, which is 20 Newton meters or 15 foot-pounds. At this point, you could fill the transmission oil from the top if you don't replace the oil filter on right away. But that generally takes a little bit longer, and nonetheless, I'm going to be filling it up from the bottom anyway with the Schwaben tool that I have. So I'm just going to close everything back up, put back on a stock air filter, and then I'll see you guys underneath the car. In order to put the stock air filter back on, you just clip the grommets into place, put back on the tubing, and then tighten down the hose clamp, and that should be it. Alright, so we're going to go underneath the car now. Just throw this underneath and start draining all the oil from the transmission. Alright. Alright, oil actually looks pretty clear still. It's a good sign that there's not too much excess wear and tear, which is good. So I'm just going to let that drain and then get ready to take the inner one, which I believe is an 8mm. One thing I don't understand is why, even though I didn't take out the snorkel here yet, so much fluid already came out. So if anyone can explain that, that would be very helpful. In this particular case, I would say maybe like almost 2 liters came out before I actually took out the snorkel here. And the snorkel is taken out with 8mm hex, but it just doesn't make sense to me why, if the snorkel is what determines the height of the transmission oil, it doesn't make sense to me why just taking out the drain plug so much actually comes out. Is it because, you know, some of it gets around it during the course of usage? It just doesn't make sense to me. So if anyone can explain that, I'd really appreciate it. That's one thing that I can't seem to wrap my head around after doing this project. So this tube here is actually the tube that comes out from inside the transmission, and it's secured by this like 8mm hex. Essentially, if you could see, it's hollow, right? You could see through it. And when this is sitting inside the transmission, it's sitting upright like this. So this is actually what determines the level of your oil. So when you tighten this in, there will be a little bit of oil leaking around it, very, very little, but essentially any oil that is on basically on top of this right here or above this level will overflow. All right, so this oil stopped draining, and you're going to put back this snorkel, and all you're going to do is put it so that it is finger tight with the 8mm hex bit. And you really don't want to tighten it down anymore or break this inside the transmission, because essentially you're talking about opening up the entire transmission, which would really suck. So this does not actually do any of the like holding the oil in, so it really doesn't have to be that tight. As long as it's tight enough to the point where it's seated properly, that's all that you need. All right, so I felt it touch. I'm just giving a small, very light, and that's it. All right, this next part involves using the Schwaben fluid pump kit. This is the same pump kit that I used for the Haldex oil change. And essentially you're looking for this connector right here. This connector, it even says on it, it's M24 by 1.5 DSG. And it fits right in place of where the drain plug goes. So it looks like this. The oil that I'm using is a liquid moly dual clutch gear oil. This is to spec for different Porsches, different Volkswagens, Chrysler, Ford, BMW. So I'm just gonna thread this in by hand. And it has its own O-ring, so oil won't go around it. But I'm just gonna wipe down the area so that if there is any leakage, I'll be able to see it. All right, so now we're gonna fill up our pump with oil and then start pumping it in. So this particular pump fills up 3 liters at a time. So I'm just gonna fill up 3 liters and then do the last 2 to 3 liters afterwards. There's probably a way to take off the entire cap to make pouring in oil easier, but I couldn't figure it out, so I'm just been pouring it in through the side vent port. And this particular pump actually takes exactly 3 liters, so I think that I wouldn't be able to put in all 3 liters if I took off the top cap. And then now we're just going to pump this up to about 20 psi. And you want to make sure that the valve is actually closed so that you don't start pumping fluid out already. The fluid builds up pretty quickly at first because it's mostly fluid inside and not much air. So now we're going to connect it underneath the car and then start putting the oil into the transmission. All right, so this is just a quick disconnect, which makes it nice and easy. I'm gonna turn it so that it's open and it should start going up. So it's starting to fill up on that side, and as I see the pressure come down, I'm just gonna continually pump it so that the oil is going in. And it's probably hard to pick up on camera, but the line is down to here now and it looks like it's still slowly going down. Yep, working just fine. So after this gets pretty empty, I'm gonna put in probably 2 more liters worth and basically see where I'm at by the end of this. I'm gonna let it overfill. So I'm gonna fill 5 liters worth, and then I'll go through the procedure of warming up the transmission fluid to temp so that I can let the rest drain out. All right, so this is kind of where we're at right now. I have it so that everything is kind of open. It's open to the air right now, and essentially what I'm going to do is go inside the car and start it up. And remember, this is actually the most critical part where the car has to be completely level. So as you can see, I have jack stands in the rear but not in the back. That's because my driveway is a little bit inclined. But using my phone as a level, I use the frame rail, and it's exactly flat both in this direction as well as in this direction. So what you want to do is have your OBD plugged in, as I do there, and essentially you're going to start the car. Make sure your foot is still on the brake. So I'm going to open up the app now, and it's essentially connecting, and then I'm going to be able to check the transmission oil temperature in just a second. I need it to be between 35 and 45 degrees Celsius, and when it's at that setting, whatever drains out of the underneath the car gets to stay. So transmission, hopefully you guys can see this live data, and what I'm looking for is the temperature, transmission fluid temperature. Currently it's probably pretty cold, it's at 33. We're gonna wait for that to get between 35 and 45. In the meantime, it's really important that you keep your foot on the brake and then run it between the different gears. So I'm going to run it between. It's beeping at me because my door is open, but let me close my door. I'm going to put it into reverse, neutral, and you just want to let it sit for a couple of seconds. Drive, sport, back to drive, switch it into the manual modes. I don't really think that will do anything in this particular car. Put it back into drive, neutral, and what's this doing is essentially I think there's like some sort of pump that will run the fluid between the different gears. Put this back into park. I can let my foot off the brake now, and as you can see, the temperature is still at 33 degrees Celsius. I heard that it takes about 10 to 15 minutes, so I'll be back to check in with you. All right, so currently the transmission fluid is at 37 degrees Celsius. So we're already within spec. We need between 35 and 45 or 6, and we're at 37. So at 37 now, I'm going to turn off the car. Basically, I'm going to let the rest of the oil drain out. Whatever oil is there, I'm going to let it drain out. I'm going to take off the filler hose. All right, so as you can see right there, it is still draining a little bit. When this stops draining, essentially that's when I know I'm at the correct level. So all I'm gonna do is wait till this goes down to a trickle, and then I'm going to take out this adapter and then put in the new drain plug-in at 33 foot-pounds. So you probably don't need a new drain plug, but you should definitely get a new drain washer. I just got a new plug anyway, but definitely get yourself a new crush washer, even if you don't want to get a new drain plug, which is fine. You don't want to reuse these washers. You might be able to get by without it, without actually changing these. Just for peace of mind, it's better if you just swap them out and get a new one. So it might be a little bit hard to see, but it's starting to slow down. I think that if you put in 5 liters, that should be more than enough. I don't think you need the full 6 liters, although it's nice to have an extra one spare just in case you spill some and you're worried that you don't have enough. All right, so the last step is just to tighten this down to 33 foot-pounds, and that's the end of the job. Alright guys, so that's basically it for this project. The DSG Service is not something that's terribly difficult, certainly something that you can tackle at home, and I hope that this guide was helpful for you as I experienced it for the first time. I hope that this video encourages you to do more stuff on your own car, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments below. Again, huge thank you to ECS Tuning for providing the kit for this particular project, and if you're not subscribed already, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.